All right, so what I want to talk to you about is the block situation. So the lady really wasn't prepared for us because kind of booked late on Thursday. All the good campsites were kind of taken, so she kind of made accommodations for me on this site. All right, so let's look in. It's really unlevel, so let's look in to see what happened. So Friday night, I come in late. It's dark. Got here about 8 o'clock. Well, started setting up probably about 8:30, so it was dark. But anyway, I had to use a lot of blocks. Now, when I ordered my original set of equipment, when I first got the RV, I looked at videos and it's telling me everything I needed. So I ordered 10 of these blocks, and I need more blocks. So this is the second time this happened. I meant to order some more earlier, but anyway, you see the blocks still uneven. I needed more blocks than that to lift this camper up. It's kind of leaning to one side, but anyway. And you see the yellow blocks, they kind of breaking and bending. So I'm gonna order some more blocks, probably about 20 more, but they're gonna be heavier than this. They're gonna be heavy duty, and so kind of withstand the weight. I already broke one of them, so I used blocks here, and they're coming around. You see the front stabilizer jack, and you see it kind of off from one side to the next, and I didn't have anything. I actually looked around the campsite and I couldn't find any wood, but anyway, I used a padlock for my tongue, so to level that off. So I was kind of afraid it wouldn't work, but it did work out. So it's Sunday now. We checked in Friday, about to leave. I was kind of worried as far as bouncing around in the camper. Also, you can see on the front tongue, I had to use actually I'm gonna pan around to the left right there. And you see the wheel chocks there on the back wheels? I actually took 2 of those wheel chocks, put them on edge, put them together, and used one of the blocks to kind of give me some lift. I was really worried that wouldn't work, with the moving in the trailer, but it did work fine. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is, my plan is to order heavier blocks like these, and about 20 of them, and I'm gonna get some 2x4s and some 4x4s, some small ones that I can use to chalk the wheels and lift the trail and stuff like that when I run into this condition again. So I told you this is the second time this happened, and I just didn't do it. I told my wife one time that a lot of RV parts get ordered on the weekend. People from the campsite like, dang, nah man, I wish I kind of had this. So we'll back up a little bit. So the original setup, when I bought all the equipment, I watched the videos and said what adapters you need and all that stuff. I spent about $1,000. Since then, I spent another $500, $600 on equipment, because we've been out probably about 8 times now, and every time we realize that we need something different or need something else. So this time as well, I'm gonna buy an extension cord, because if I could have had a longer extension cord, I could have moved to a more level spot. Okay, and also I'm gonna buy a longer water hose. This is a 25-foot hose, so I'm gonna buy a longer water hose so I can kind of move around a little bit, find a flatter spot if need be, and still have the water and power. All right, so another thing I want to talk about. She really wasn't set up for me, because I told her I needed 30 amp service, and she said she only had 20. But what she did was, so I talked to Camping World, and I made a mistake. I asked them, I said, on a 15 amp service, would I be able to run the AC? And they told me no, I'll burn it up. So I do know I have a 20 amp circuit breaker for the AC. She told me she had a 20 amp service, so I said that should work. But anyway, she got an electrician out here. Before I came, when I came here, he was just finishing up, and she said she was going to convert the 20 amp circuit to a 30 amp circuit. But actually what she did, she just put a 30 amp plug on a 20 amp circuit. And you say, Tim, how do you know that? Because when I ran the AC and the refrigerator on electric at the same time, it kept blowing the fuse. So turned the refrigerator off and ran on gas, and had no problem with the AC. And I had this problem before at one campsite, 30 amp plug, but it kept blowing the circuit breaker, and I ended up turning the refrigerator off, and we thought something was maybe wrong with the refrigerator. But that's what it was, because I saw online that a lot of these campsites, the power's not right, and it might say, just like this lady did, she just put a 30 amp plug on a 20 amp circuit. The plug don't determine the circuit amp, the circuit does. So a lot of these campsites have a 30 amp plug, but it's not 30 amp coming through there. So I called, matter of fact, 3 weeks ago when I had this problem, I called Camping World and I asked them, I said, hey, no, not Camping World. I called the RV place I bought this RV from, and I asked them, I said, can you run the refrigerator on electric and the AC at the same time? They told me no, in the summertime it's going to cut off and have problems. That's not true. You just got to have a proper 30 amp service or 50 amp service, whatever your vehicle requires. All right, so what I did was I did go out and buy a 30 amp to 20 adapter. So now I have that. That cost me another $20, and then we was able to do that. So anyway, just in the future, just make sure you have everything you need and kind of understand your electrical requirements. So what I did is switch the refrigerator over to propane and just ran it, the AC, and everything was fine. But anyway, I hope this video has helped, because it helped me. Every time I go out, we've been out about 8 times already, and each time I learned something different. So Tim Stanley, Blackout EZ. Have a great day.